Before the video starts, I want to let you guys know on a giveaway we're going to be doing on the G35 and 350Z platform. Max Speeding Rods and I ended up partnering up as a thank you for 10,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. To enter the giveaway, all you got to do is go on my Instagram. Step number 1 is going to be liking the post. Step number 2 is going to be following me on Instagram. Step number 3 is going to be to tag 2 buddies, let them know about the giveaway, have them enter. So the end of the giveaway will be February 1st, so make sure to enter before that. The giveaway winner will be chosen at random with a generator, so there is no bias on my end. And if you want to get some coilovers regardless, there's going to be a link in the bio that will let you know where to find these, so go ahead and check it out, and let's get started with the video. Welcome back to another G35 video. It's been a while, I know I haven't really been posting consistently, but we managed to hit 10,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. Also make sure you enter that giveaway, the Max Speeding Rods coilover giveaway for your G35 or 350Z. So in this G35 video, we're going to be installing something that's going to help you in the long run with your G35 or 350Z. As you continue modifying your G35 or 350Z, you're going to be installing a couple new goodies on your car. One of those things may be a fuel pump and injectors, so the more you start adding to the car, the better it is to have tools to be able to diagnose if any problems happen to your car. We're going to be installing a tool, a gauge, so you can see your fuel pressure on your G35 or 350Z. So we're going to be installing a fuel port, and we're also going to be installing a fuel gauge. So we're going to be able to see our fuel pressure when we are diagnosing if there's any issues, or if I just want to make sure that everything's running right. Alright guys, so here are the two things we'll be installing in this video. We're going to have the fuel port, and then we're going to have the fuel gauge. The fuel port basically is going to be right in the middle in between the fuel damper and then the bottom half of it. So you can see it has two fittings, so you could use two different things. I don't think fitment wise it would fit, but you do have the possibility, if you are able to reroute or maybe move some things around, you will have enough space to put two things into this fuel port. A really cool piece from Z1 Motorsports. Like I said, no one else is doing this. At least that doesn't fit as well as this one will on your G35 or 350Z. Another thing to mention is that the stock fuel damper does have an O-ring, and that can lead to problems if you don't replace it. This one comes with an O-ring, but you will be either reusing or getting a new O-ring onto the existing fuel damper, and that one's going to go onto this one. So make sure, if you're going to be doing that, just go ahead and replace the O-ring. The last thing you want is to have some sort of fire happen on your car for cheaping out and not getting yourself a $1 O-ring. Now, as far as the install, you won't really be having any issues installing it if you do have the plenum spacer. I have been seeing online though that you will be having some issues with having a stock manifold, the upper and lower, and then not having the plenum spacer, because it will start touching on the hose that goes to the battery. So you should be good with that. As long as you have a plenum spacer, you won't have any fitment issues, just because it does raise up that hose enough for you to have a gap where you can install it just fine. Alright guys, so first thing we got to do is just depressurize the fuel system. So just taking off the fuel cap, that's all we're really going to do. And then afterwards is disconnecting the battery. Unless you want to be inhaling all the gas, I suggest opening the garage. You don't want to get high off of gasoline, or maybe you do, I'm not sure, but I'm going to be opening the garage and having it just a little bit open, just enough to where there's some air coming in. So the battery is disconnected, so now we're all good to go on the removal of the fuel damper. At this part, you want to go ahead and get a couple towels, because it is going to leak out fuel. Alright, so you guys can see that I have the towels on there already, and then we also have the fuel damper right there. You can see those two bolts, we're going to be removing those. Those are two 10mm bolts. After that, you just pop it out, and that is literally it for the removal. Alright guys, so I did install the fuel gauge onto the fuel port, and you are going to be using the MPT side, so it has a little arrow showing you which side is the MPT side, and then you got your BPST over here. You are going to be using the MPT if you're using one of these fuel gauges. You want your fuel gauge to be facing upright so that you have it facing the correct orientation. And then afterwards, we'll install the stock damper onto this on top, and then we should be all good to go. We'll bolt everything down and check for leaks, and then we'll test it all out and see if it works. Alright guys, so everything is installed now. We have the fuel port installed, we have the fuel gauge installed, we also have the fuel damper with the new O-ring installed. We put in the 2 new bolts that they include since it is an added thickness. You do need longer bolts, so they do include that, which is nice. So the torque for both of those bolts is going to be 74 inch-pounds, which is a little over 6 foot-pounds. So with everything good on the G35, we can connect the battery back up and also go ahead and put the fuel cap back onto the G35, and after that we'll be able to see what the fuel pressure is, because I'm curious if it's low or not. I believe the fuel pressure should be around 51 psi, so we'll go ahead and see what it is, and then from there we'll see how well it's working. Let's go ahead and finish this up. Alright guys, so now we have the G35 running, and as you can see, that line is right dead center in the middle, meaning that it's right at what 50 psi is. I'm happy to know that it's right where it should be, and we have no leaks. I'm going to be looking at it for like a minute or two off camera just to make sure I don't see any leaks. Alright guys, so it has been a couple weeks since I installed the fuel pressure gauge on the G35. I've been driving the car for a couple weeks and it's been fine. There's been no leaks. I haven't smelled any fuel, so everything's good on the install part of it. Messing with fuel is always something that I want to make sure I do right, so I'm always making sure you're torquing down the bolts to exactly what they're supposed to be is the best way to avoid having any leaks and any problems in the future. If you are going to do the fuel pressure gauge, make sure you replace those O-rings. I've seen it where the G35s are having issues with those O-rings failing, so make sure you go ahead and replace that. But so far so good. I really like that I'm able to see my fuel pressure. Super clean installation, really easy to do, nothing crazy. Just make sure you do torque down your bolts right. So that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. 2024, brand new year. Will this G35 ever get tuned? I hope so, but we'll go ahead and see. I still got a lot of work and I've been pushing it off, so apologies on that, but we will get this G35 sorted out, I promise that. So go ahead and join that giveaway as well if you want a free set of coilovers. As a small thank you, Max Speeding Rods and I ended up partnering up to give someone a free set of coilovers. Thank you so much for everybody who subscribed, and thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.